Hey guys, this is the WalterFootball.com After Dark Show for August 7, 2024. We're doing another fantasy football mock draft. This one's going to be 12 teams, standard scoring. We did PPR yesterday, so figure we flip back to standard scoring today. Before we intro our guest, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store. As you can see here, we have a ton of t-shirts available, even a mug here. I never talked about the mug, but yeah, you can get all this stuff. This money laundering t-shirt I was wearing the other day, and some lady looked at me odd, so I knew that she was not my friend. But yeah, you get to know who your friends are, who your enemies are with these shirts. It's pretty cool. And especially, you might want to check out the August is Gluttony Month t-shirt here. As I mentioned yesterday, $17.25. It was $19 on the weekend. Now it's $17.25. So having a good sale here, and it's a high quality shirt. So you might want to check it out, especially because you can tell everyone that gluttony rights are human rights. Very important message to spread on Gluttony Month. Also, super chats, super stickers are really appreciated. We had another great one from Slew yesterday. Slew, John Sanders, and Jerem. You guys have been so awesome lately. Kevin Kovac in the past, and Deterrent as well. Like, you guys have been so helpful with your super chats. Like, it really helps because these YouTube ads pay nothing. Like, the last time we had a show with no super chats, we made like 61 cents. So it's pretty brutal. As I always say, like, we could just go outside, pick up change, and do better. But yeah, hopefully we get continued support. And it really is appreciated. Also, you can go to Amazon, buy my new book, Jerks of the College Years. So you can see here, I made fun of very strange people during my 6 years at Penn State. So you can get all these stories on Jerks of the College Years, available on Amazon for $13.99. So without further ado, we have our guest tonight, Body Burner. He was on, was it a week ago or 2 weeks ago? We were talking about House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones. And now Body Burner joins me for Fantasy Football Mock Draft. You might be wondering why. Well, it's because we've been in a fantasy league together for like every year for about, what do you want to say, like almost 20 years now, right? So yeah, it's been that long. So figured we'd have you on. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me. I was on a few times with you last year, I think, and I always tell folks I'm probably the least qualified person you have doing this with you. But
well, you always draft well. You're always like in the playoffs. You're always like, I feel like we go against each other in championships sometimes. I think you are very qualified. Don't sell yourself short here.
Well, I appreciate it. Last year, not so much. Last year in the league that we were in together, I drafted Jefferson in the first round, so that didn't end well for me.
Well, you got hurt. What are you going to do about that? So,
yeah,
yeah, we're going to be drafting on Fantasy Football Calculator. We're going to wait for the next 12-team room to open up. There it goes. So I'm going to click spot number 3, and I'm doing that because last time I drafted standard was I was second overall, and I found myself having some issues in the second round and third round. And so I kind of wanted to try another strategy, not from the second spot again, from the third spot. So I'm going to tweet this room out. So hopefully we get a full room like we did yesterday. So, all right, so I'm going to tweet this out. And yeah, go from there.
Well, I didn't get into it.
You didn't get it? It's still there's still spots available.
I don't know. It kicked me out. It was weird. Let's try again. There we go. Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna tweet this out and post it on Facebook. So I mean, we have a few minutes here as we wait. You watched the finale of House of the Dragon? Figured might as well talk about that.
You mean the season 3 preview?
Yes, the season 3 preview. By the way, make sure you hit high drafted players and player notifications. Yeah, it was basically a preview for season 3, especially the Damon visions that he had. It kind of made sense that it kind of culminated in that, because if that woman is Melisandre, then she would be very interested in having them defend against the White Walkers and kind of build that way. But I don't know. It felt like kind of a cop out almost. I didn't like it too much. The whole vision thing. I was hoping it would conclude in something better. And also it that was weird. Something just popped off my desk. That's the weirdest thing ever. Anyway, I don't know what that was. Something just popped off my desk.
It's the ghost of Fear and Hall, Walter.
Yeah, no, seriously. No. Now, they did the thing that I complained about last time, where they went into the other opposing camp and just like disguised as something else. They've done it 4 times already this season. It's pretty incredible.
Oh, it's Allison just showing up.
Yeah.
I don't know if she was disguised something else. I think they just kind of like snuck her in, but same idea.
Right.
Like these places have no security.
No, it's horrible. It's horrible. And I think the Rhaenyra going to the Sept was the absolute worst. We got a full room, by the way, so pretty cool. That was ridiculous. Like they kept telling her, no, you can't go to battle, and then she snuck into the Sept, like when they could have easily kidnapped her and just ended the war. Like what? I don't understand what Allison's thinking there. Like because she didn't do that, now she has to sacrifice her son, and she's willing to sacrifice her son so she can go to the wilderness and just like hang out with
live in the woods.
Yeah. It's just I don't get what's going on.
I mean, there's so many people that like if you're in that, I don't know what she thinks are going to happen. Like she's going to like not going to have her son be killed. Both are like if you're Rhaenyra, you have to kill both her sons and probably her father.
Yep. Yeah. Chris saying, "Happy birthday! I must confess my disappointment. You are not in your birthday suit."
That's the after dark show.
Yeah, you'll have to pay extra for that one. No, I'm kind of confused about what my birthday suit is. You have to tell me, Chris. I did say that I was hoping to get my my August is Gluttony Month T-shirt by now, and it actually may have been in the mail. It was raining all day. I just didn't get to go to the mailbox, but. I live in one of those places where you don't have your mailbox right next to your house. You have to walk a little bit. Germ with the 555 super chat. Thank you so much, Germ. Got booted from draft room last night. Wouldn't draft 3 QBs. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Tried the sleeper app like others mentioned the other night, and it seems to be way better. Okay, yeah, maybe we'll do that. I did remember it, and I checked out the site. I don't know how is it complicated or is it easy to use? Please let me know. But maybe we'll do that instead of fantasy football calculator going forward. Thank you again, Jerm. Thank you so much. Just really appreciate it. The continued support there. Patrick saying, "Happy birthday, Walt. Been reading your stuff since 2015. Love all the content as always. Thank you so much, Patrick. It's 42. Feels. My wife asked me, she's like, "How's it feel to be 42?" I'm like, "Well, still in my early 40s." She's like, "No, you're in your mid 40s." So we actually had like an argument about that.
I disagree. You're still early 40s.
Yeah, I think next year I'm mid 40s. I think mid 40s is 43, 44, 45, 46, I think. And then you have early is 3 years, 40 to 42, and late is 47, 3 years as well, 47 to 49. I don't know.
I agree.
Yeah. Tell her next time you see her then. Wait, Slew said something here. Did you notice that your draft from the 11th spot last night, their computer rating system scored you last and the Ezekiel team first? Yes, the team that got booted. Well, I mean, obviously the auto draft is going to score highest because that's what they're optimized for. So yeah, I don't really care that they scored me last.
If you just follow if you just follow their rankings, you'll get the highest score. Like just pick best player available.
Yeah, no, I don't think like what's the point of getting the high score? Chris says FFC used to be great, but they've neglected up their site. Yeah, they haven't done that in a while. Like the fact that they're not 16 rounds is kind of ridiculous. But the sleeper have a bunch of random kickers at the bottom. Yeah, that's the most important thing. You need those random kickers. Germ says it seems pretty easy. You can start the draft yourself once the room is full. You don't have to wait for a clock. Okay, yeah, maybe you'll check it out. And then Chris says the sleeper app has a bunch of players you can sleep with at the bottom of the list. Nice. Nice. All right. So the draft starting in 10 seconds here. Team number 1 is aptly number 1. I am number 3. As I said before, in round 2 and 3, I had a lot of difficulty here, and I wanted to try a new strategy, something I usually don't do, but I think it might be time for that. You're drafting 9. Any reason for 9, or was that random?
Yeah, I just picked a number. Yeah, this is my first mock, so
okay.
I'm not really going in this with any preconceived strategies or anything like that.
Ooh, Bijan, number 1. Interesting. That is something I didn't expect. And something also I didn't expect was forgetting to pull up my cheat sheet. Let me just do that. Yeah, that's I guess that's in the wake of the Christian McCaffrey injury news that he has a calf strain. It's not like, doesn't sound like the worst thing in the world, but yeah, it's McCaffrey went second to sloppy steaks. So yeah, I think that's about right. I still have him number 2. I moved him out of number 1. I actually have Reese Lightning here, number 1 overall. So I'm going to take him the stuff he was doing last year at the end of last year was like Marshall Faulk type, receiving wise at least. So I'm a big fan of Brees Hall. Bijan, I think you can make a case for Bijan being number one as well. He's fantastic. But yeah, it's Christian McCaffrey calf strain. I don't know if you heard that. It was reported. Yeah. What are your thoughts there? If you're drafting one, or you still take McCaffrey, given the injury news?
I get it if this is a real draft, you're doing this early, not taking him first overall, but I would probably still take him. I don't.
Okay.
But he does have a big history, but I don't know, injury history with him.
He really does. He's an older player. He had a ton of touches last year. It was a long season. They played obviously into February for the Super Bowl. I really worry that he's just going to wear down, and it's very difficult. But then you still have to wonder about the upside. Like he has immense upside. Although you can say the same thing about Bijan and Brees Hall, I think. So yeah, you are up now. So what are you doing here?
Well, let's see. This feels like a bit of a. Let me see here.
Bagley says he likes Bijan number one as well. Yeah, I could see it. I think you can make a case for Bijan, McCaffrey, and Hall at one. Some might want to go receiver. I could see that as well. I'd rather take a running back. Although just based on how, like, I found through two mock drafts so far, this is my third, I found that running back is deeper than I expected, and receiver was pretty thin. So I would consider just one running back in the first two rounds unless it's got like insane value. So you took Kyron Williams. So what are your thoughts with that one?
Frankly, looking for a running back or receiver in the first rounds, he was near the top of my list. I debated going someone else, so I don't want to get like, I'm not sure if we care about spoiling names doing this with people listening, but
I mean, you could, when it comes back to you could probably say it because someone might take your guy, and there are probably some people. Jerm obviously is 10 and he's listening, so Jefferson and Chase both went. Were any of those guys?
No, I was debating another running back.
Okay.
And I went with Williams just because, sorry, my computer just gave me a flash flood warning and shut my screen off and I can't read.
Can't read?
My screen just, am I still here? Can you still see me?
I can see you, yeah.
Oh, good. Sorry, my whole screen got covered up by a flash flood warning. I couldn't say anything with that. I'm like, can you please just let me go back?
Yeah. We have severe rain here. And we live like 5 minutes apart, so
I am in my basement. If I get flooded out, I get flooded out. Like whatever.
I am too. That's where my office is. So I'm on right. We have a bunch of receivers here with Chase, Jefferson, Brown, St. Brown. I actually have a PPR draft coming up where I got to choose my spot. Is Josh Jacobs your guy?
No.
Okay, so you're
up. Back up. And I actually just held off even taking him because I felt like it was a bit of a homer pick. But
what's Saquon? Saquon, he went at 5.
I admit my computer. I'm sorry, my whole screen just kicked me out of the draft here.
Oh, did it?
I am not in the draft, so if someone gets taken, I don't have any say over it. Hold on, let's see if I can get back in it. I just got draft not found. Yeah.
That's a shame. That happens sometimes. Looks like you just made a pick, though. Garrett Wilson?
Yeah, that's fine.
Can you get back in? Because the link is on my Twitter, at least. I don't know. It's tough to get back in sometimes, unfortunately.
Yeah, it says – wait, hold on. Maybe. All right, I'm back in.
Okay, cool. Make sure you're not on auto draft, by the way.
Thank you. I am trying to figure. Sorry, as you can tell, first draft I've done this year, so a little bit rusty on the.
Yeah, I had issues last year. Last year, like my first and second draft, I think I got kicked out. So yeah, I definitely hear you. It can be frustrating. You kind of have to be careful.
I'm fine with Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, no, I would be too. He's close to the top of my board for sure. So
actually, it was funny. I was trying to get my screen set up here, and I missed that Barkley went at 5.
Okay.
So I was debating him and Williams. But it was actually, the only reason why, even not to sound stupid, I forgot how quick these clocks went. I'm like, I got 10 seconds left. Williams.
Yeah, it's 45 seconds. Kind of annoying. I wish it was like a minute. Like why 45
well,
seconds?
I get it. It's a mock. They want to just get them done as fast as they can, I guess. But
yeah, I hear you. So we're approaching the area in which I had issues last time, and I'm looking at all these players, and I'm thinking, man, I just don't like these guys. I feel like we looked at round 3 last time, and I was like, I don't like him. 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 There's like 2 guys I liked. Nico Collins just went. I don't like him. I feel like the guys I looked at round 3, I'm thinking I could take him round 4 and just be perfectly fine with them. Now, before I get to my change strategy, I should note that it doesn't matter. This pick doesn't matter as much, and I'll explain why in a little bit. But what I will do here is I'm going to take Deebo Samuel because you have Brandon Ayuk who's about to be traded, and you have Christian McCaffrey who's a calf strain. So who else is going to get the ball? And then if McCaffrey's out, Deebo's stats are going to go nuclear, because Deebo used to get so many carries before McCaffrey got there.
Right.
So that's something to watch out for. Like, definitely move up Deebo up your rankings in the wake of this. Now, it could be the case that McCaffrey plays week 1 and it's fine. But yeah, just keep that in mind. He's someone to move up for sure. So my pick is coming up, and I'm going to say it now because it doesn't matter what Sloppy Steaks does. I'm going to take a quarterback here. I always hate taking a quarterback early. I always think that you can get good value late. But again, I'm just looking at the players available here, and I'm not impressed with any of them. And I'm sure I can get one of these guys in round 4. Without further ado, I'm taking a quarterback, which is something in the past I've not liked, and I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes, who he's going to be super pissed that he wasn't the number 1 player. The NFL players basically voted for him to get the 3rd Super Bowl in a row. By putting him as number 4, even behind Lamar Jackson.
He wasn't even the number 1 quarterback.
It's insane. It really is insane. I love Mahomes this year. I think he bounces back. He has real receivers now. So yeah, it's going to be, and what I was saying before with pick 210. Yep. So I was going to take a quarterback, but I'm like, well, Sloppy Steaks and team number 1 aren't going to take double quarterbacks. And I have 3 guys at the top that I like. Hurts, Mahomes, and one other guy I'll mention when he just gets drafted. You can probably guess who it is. And I'm fine with any of them. So, I was going to just take Deebo there and then go with Mahomes. So, yeah, it's a different strategy this year just because I feel like running back, for some reason, is a lot deeper than I expected. And I like where I'm drafting, it picks 1, 2, 3. And maybe even 4 off the try 4. I just don't like any of these guys. And I'm just looking at Nico Collins. I'm not a fan of him. So yeah, I'm just gonna take a quarterback early. It's a weird thing because I never do this.
No, I think that's fair. I mean, even looking at the wide receivers and went around your pick. I know Ayuk and Adams were before, but both of them, he might be traded, and Adams, yep. I don't think is in a good situation. Yep. Drake London, I just had bad feelings. He's the one I took last year rather early, maybe the 4th or 5th round, and maybe I can't remember exactly, but rather early.
Yeah.
And didn't really pan out. Now, maybe it's different with Kirk Cousins there, but still.
Yeah, we're going to look at all these round 3 picks. I'm going to tell you why I don't like any of these players. I just look at DJ Moore I think DJ Moore is fine. That's the one guy I'm okay with.
Okay.
Cooper Kupp, if Puka Nacua is injured, he has a minor knee injury right now. I know there's no such thing as a minor knee injury, but I think it sounded like it was just a knee bruise. You're on the clock, by the way.
Yes. I'm going to take a guy who I personally like. I'm going to take Devonta Smith.
Says, Walt, I know you hate basing on your sleepers, but you're not going to trick your friends and taking quarterbacks early. Let's try that. Well, I swear I do it in real life. So when these leagues come out and I am drafting 1 through 4, if I am, then I will be taking quarterback. I promise. Chris asking, Walt, would you care to guess my name this evening? Let's look. But BB, do you want to say something about Devonta Smith here?
Not so much about Devonta Smith, but I have heard a lot of positive things about the Eagles' offense. With the new coordinators and things like that. So I think he's talented, and I don't really see much of a dramatic difference between a lot of the receivers taken here and him. I actually think he's a lot better than a handful of them, to be honest with you. Even Metcalf, I think, is really good, but there's concern right now that his his quarterback might just be banged up already.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I want to touch him. And Marvin Harrison Jr. is a rookie. Like I'm just looking at the guys who just got taken around me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big fan of rookie receivers. I'm not sure how you feel about that.
Yeah, especially with a quarterback who's always injured. Kyler Murray has never played a full season. So Chris asking me who his teams are, whose team name is. I'm guessing Wang's out for Walt. Like, what is this 12 team name? Franciscano Sastar? Sestar? I don't know what that is. Wang's out for Walt, I suppose, Chris. So my best guess. Maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong. Or maybe it's just like one. And you're just like going low key tonight. Devon HN's lower. So HN's been going like late round 2 or early round 3, where I hate him there. But round 403, I'm fine with him there. All right, you're up.
Yes. I actually hate all these not excited by any of these running backs.
I know.
And I don't want to be like, ooh, Walt said take quarterbacks early, so I'm still not going to do that. But I am going to take this guy if I could draft him without fucking up sorry for cursing on your stream here. Oh, come on. Take him, you jerk. All right, there we go. Come on.
Najee Harris. Oh, why Najee Harris? That's interesting.
Because he's terrible.
Okay. Josh Allen, by the other quarterback was considering. And then Kelsey goes, so he took Najee Harris because he's terrible.
Yeah, he's terrible. That means that's good, right?
I guess. I don't know. Like in a world where brat means cool girl or something, you know.
Exactly.
Najee Harris is interesting because he's apparently in great shape, which, you know, I feel like 90% of the stories from training camp is like, oh, this guy's in great shape.
Right.
You know,
no, so I'll be perfectly honest with you. Like we talked about doing this a couple of days ago, and I have done 0. This is my first mock, which is fine. On preparing for a draft that hasn't even been set yet.
Oh yeah, we finally got their email.
I missed that. That came out today, I guess, or
I think yesterday, last night or something.
All right, that's fine. I'll cut it later. But it's good just to kind of get a feel for things. Already around 4, I'm like, God. I probably would have went, if I wasn't auto picked, I probably would have went running back in round 2. But that's here and there.
Okay, well, I am up again, and one of the guys I would have taken a 303 is here. So my gambit paid off. So it's let's see where he is. James Conner, who had a great finish to last year. And I think that might be a precursor to what he's going to do this season. I really like what I saw out of him. Kenneth Walker is someone. If Connor was off the board, Kenneth Walker may have been my pick. You know, he's an impressive running back. I'm pretty down on Seattle. Seattle might sign Connor Williams though, which will make me feel better about them. But yeah, I mean, again, like if I didn't take Mahomes there, it would have been between DJ Moore, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave, Joe Mixon, and James Conner. And like all these guys I had like pretty evenly, whereas the quarterbacks I had Hurts, Mahomes, and Josh Allen like way above all the other quarterbacks. So I think it just makes more sense to go quarterback. Again, this is something I never do. It's just I think it's just a different circumstance this year. Now, I think if you're drafting late, I have not run into this issue late. So if you're drafting like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I don't think you need to go quarterback in round 2 or something, but maybe round 3, depending on who's available.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just a different sort of season. Strange. So Malik Neighbors just went. And I think there's some good receivers here. Let's see here. So it's pretty close between 2 guys. Actually, I'm looking at the running backs. I think I can get one of these receivers later. So I'm going to go with my 3rd running back, and it is going. Let's see if he's listed at the top here. Alvin Kamara, who, you know, there is downside with him because he has issues staying healthy, but you know, when he's on, and of course we have Stroud, Lamar Jackson, stupid computer AI. So we have, I think Kamara has some really good potential. I worry about the offensive line and the injuries, but you're getting him in round 5, and he's still the focal point of the offense. So Joe Burrow goes here as well. So I think this is a weird circumstance. So I wanted to look at all the third round picks and tell you why I don't like most of them. You have Ayuk here, who might be traded to New England, which would be a disaster for him. Pittsburgh even too. Devontae Adams is an older player. I think he's 31, so he might be on the decline. He might be traded as well. And his quarterback is Gardner Minshew or Aidan O'Connell. Drake London, I'm fine with him like late round 3, early round 4. I think it's an okay pick. I don't know. Something bothers me about Atlanta, just how they took Michael Penix so willingly. DJ Moore, I said I'm fine with him. He's okay. Cooper Kupp is 31. So that's the issue there. Jalen Waddle, I like, but he's the receiver too. And, Tyreek Hill dominates the targets. But I do like Waddle. That's one of those guys I like here. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a rookie, just not sure what to expect out of him. But theoretically, he's going to be good. Devontae Smith, I think he's fine. Again, he's the receiver too. And you're up. So while you pick, I will finish this. DK Metcalf. Again, I'm down Seattle. I think Seattle's going to bottom out this year. Rashad White, great in PPR, but in standard, not very exciting. And Olave is a good pick, I think, at 312. So okay, no, Tank Dell just went. So you're up now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I've been looking, and I'm just happy to be doing this and know how like ill prepared I am for any real draft. So that's good.
John Sanders says PFT just reported New England is out for Ayuk. So I wouldn't have seen that on Twitter because what's his face blocked me. I forget his name already.
Who blocked him? Oh, I didn't want to. I did not mean to take Stephon Diggs. I'm not sure how that happened.
Okay, you took Stephon Diggs.
I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry, this is not working out for me. I think I'm like, if this is the internet's lagging, I keep clicking on things and that's all right. Whatever.
Mike Florio blocked me on Twitter. So I don't get to see his tweets anymore. Although I could just use my alt account to see his tweets. I don't understand the whole concept of blocking people, because if you log out of Twitter, you can see someone's tweets if you really want to. So like what's the point? I think if you really want to get under someone's skin, I think I think that muting them is the best, because they're going to keep responding to you, and they will never know that you're not seeing their tweets. I think that's the best way to. But like, if you block someone, I think you just give them the satisfaction of like, hey, it's almost like a badge of honor. When Adam Kinzinger blocked me, I was like, actually, it's like proudly like texting people that. It's just, it's like one of the biggest scumbags blocked me. It's pretty cool. I don't know.
So
you're up after this number 10 guy.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have issues with the rest of your draft here, because I got kicked out the one time, and then and now it's saying I cannot manually draft.
Yeah, I think if you screw up twice, they give you dust.
So we'll see what the computer wants to give me, and we'll talk about it.
Maybe you could talk about like who you would pick here. So Pittman just went. They gave you Zay Flowers. Who would you have taken here instead?
I was leading running back because I'm not, but I don't know. I was trying to look into things. Is like Nick Chubb out? I know he's got hurt last year. Is any word on his recovery? I was debating either honestly going even quarterback possibly, but I wasn't sure. I'm really just up in the air on a lot of these picks here.
So with Nick Chubb, that knee injury he suffered was devastating. It wasn't just a torn ACL; it was MCL, LCL, like every single ligament you could think of. It was horrible. Now he is bench pressing a lot, which is encouraging, but he's not cutting or anything like that. So we'll see. I would be surprised if he plays the first half of the year. I think they might try to ease him back into action second half of the year, but I don't think he's going to have a full workload at all. Like, he's not someone I would draft at all. Like, well, at all meaning like first 10 rounds. Like if he's there like 12th round, maybe I'll take a shot on him, but I don't really see the purpose, because he's not going to be playing for a while. And when he returns, he's not going to be playing that much. So I think that's just a bad pick. So Dalton Kincaid just went. He was the top player on my board, but I was more interested in drafting a receiver who pairs with my quarterback very well. I just love stacking these guys, especially if you get an elite quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. So his new friend here, let's see here, Marquise Brown is available, so I'll take him. Rashee Rice may be suspended. Marquise Brown, it's been a while since he's had a great quarterback. And in fact, I don't know if he's never had like a real great passing quarterback. He's had a couple of scrambling quarterbacks who were great on the ground, but like pretty okay through the air. This is the first time he's going to have that. And so I'm pretty excited to see what he does with Patrick Mahomes. I think he could have a huge season.
No, for sure. I mean, Mahomes makes a lot of people look good. So he's definitely going to produce.
Yes. No, he definitely does. So, I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster played well.
That's what was coming to mind, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, obviously there are some guys who just don't pan out with him. They're always like lost causes. But, yeah, I mean, Marquise Brown might have his best year. So, I'm pretty happy to get him or so Nick Chubb just went. The computer just took Nick Chubb. And the Kyler just went. So, I am up on the clock again. Could go tight end, but I think they're. I don't know about going quarterback and tight end early. I think one is fine. I think both might be a little tricky. I'm going to go with another receiver here. Oh no, wait. Sorry, Christian Kirk is off the board. I was going to go with him, but he's off the board. Okay, but there's another good receiver I'm seeing who's not taken left yet. T. Higgins is available in round 7. That's pretty surprising, I think. He's not holding out. He's coming back to the team, and he's the number 2 receiver. But he's proven that he can produce some pretty big numbers if available. So, I'm pretty surprised that Higgins made it to round 7. So I'm pretty happy with this receiving core, considering I only took one in the first 5 rounds.
Yeah, no, definitely. I would say the only thing with your receiving core is, do you think it gets shaken up at all if Ayuk doesn't get traded? Like, are you still as high on Samuel there?
Well, I think Samuel can still be good. It only takes one thing. Like, I think Ayuk will be traded, but even if he's not, there's a chance that McCaffrey goes down. All I need is one thing to happen with Debo.
Right.
So, and even if like neither happens, Debo's still going to produce good numbers. It's not like I'm drafting a bust here. Some guy who should go in the 6th round.
Right.
Like Debo should probably go like late round 3 if the circumstances were unchanged from last year.
Sure.
So I'm paying a slight premium for him, but if one of those things happens, like he might have his best year yet. So pretty happy to take him. So you're up after this guy. So Chase Brown just won. He's one of my sleepers, but apparently not round 7.
It happens in all your leagues though. Your sleepers go.
I know. Yeah, I never get anyone I want. So it's a good pick. I just I was laughing because that always happens. So you're theoretically up again. Who would you take here? Well, the clock is ticking down. Maybe you can pick someone.
Well, I'm not. It says I can't, so I'm not sure why it's clicking.
All right. Well, who'd you take here then?
I don't even have the rankings up right now because it kicked me out. So I'm not even sure it's available. But we'll see what the computer takes now. I'm not sure why it's even clicking. That's weird because it says I can't draft.
Huh. Strange. Kimiko says from week to week, isn't Higgins boom or bust? Yeah, I think you could call him boom or bust. Like he has some huge games and some games where he doesn't do much for sure. But you have to remember last year that was mostly the case because Joe Burrow was injured and he just wasn't himself.
Did my clock freeze?
It was just because I was clicked out. So Rashee Rice just went and he might be suspended or he may not be suspended. I just don't know. But I'm guessing 4 to 6 games. But we don't know what they're going to do yet. And it's so annoying when they drag their feet. I just wish, from a fantasy perspective, they would just tell us, like, hey, we're going to suspend this guy 4 games, or maybe that's their goal. Maybe they'd be like, based on what he's alleged to be done, he will be suspended 4 games if we look into the matter and we find that he is guilty of such things. Say something like that. I think that would be very helpful. But of course, they don't really care. Goodell doesn't care. So there's that, I suppose. Yeah, so there's some good tight ends left. I was thinking about taking a tight end. Xavier Worthy just went. I'm not a big fan of that. Like I know we had the golf guys on last night, Nuggets and Butters, and Nuggets took Worthy early as well, and I'm seeing Worthy here early too.
Those aren't real people. You made up names.
Yeah, I had AI dudes on last night. Yeah. I don't know. Like he ran a 4.21, fastest 40 ever. But like, what does that matter? Like all the other fast guys, like the top 5 fastest guys at the combine ever had never panned out.
So I'm saying it's still doing my time. It's weird. It wouldn't let me do anything, and then it kept saying like site not site room not found.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't.
Your folks might be right. Stop using this broken website.
Yeah, we might. Yeah, use Sleeper. Everyone's saying use Sleeper. Maybe we'll do that. BB, will the computer draft from your watch list if you line players out? Oh, that's interesting. Well, he's out. He's out of the draft room, right?
Yeah, I only had a handful of guys on the list, and
Bagley says
timing. I'm not sure why he's even running the clock for me anymore. I'm not even. Oh well.
Yeah. 2 teams with multi-quarterbacks around 7 isn't realistic. Yeah, I don't know. This AI needs to improve.
I mean, look at Team 4. I don't think they even have a running back yet. I think it's all receivers and quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's how you draft. You take your 5th receiver and 2nd quarterback before your 1st running back. Yeah, maybe we have to try Sleeper. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow night with Kenny. Yeah, because that's kind of ridiculous. So we'll give it a shot, I suppose. And I imagine the AI will be better. It can't be worse than this. It's just I wish like we could have a draft where everyone drafts, but like that something like that always happens. Like someone times out or someone that just has to leave, or it's real life.
I timed out the one time just trying to figure out the site, and then it kicked me off. Like I just my whole thing froze.
Yeah.
And then I got back in and it was like, you can't draft. I'm like, oh, super.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. All right. So is this guy available? Let's see. He's not. Crap. He's not either. Let's go. I know he is available. Let's go J.K. Dobbins. So I've not done my research on this Achilles yet. I keep telling John Sanders I will. J.K. Dobbins is, according to Daniel Jeremiah, who knows people in the Chargers organization, he's like, you have to have him on your roster, and I trust him. He's now 2 years removed from the torn ACL, so I expect he's going to be better. But then again, it's the Achilles, so that's something that I really want to look into, and I will soon, I promise. But theoretically, I think Dobbins could be really good in that offense. It just we haven't seen him be healthy in the past 2 years because he tore his ACL, and then the year after the ACL you want to stay away from those guys.
Is Herbert hurt again too?
He has a plantar fascia injury, which means that he's going to have trouble pushing off his foot the entire year. So it's not good.
Does that affect your opinions of the offense in general, or do you think they'll run more? Is it like a catch-22 kind of thing?
Well, they wanted to run more anyway. So maybe that's an excuse for them to do so. But the passing offense, at least, I have severe concerns with that. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to take Chuba Hubbard after Jonathan Brooks, by the way, which I think is crazy. Now I know Team 1's probably auto draft at this point, but Chuba Hubbard is their starting running back, and he's going to be their starting running back for a while.
For the Lions, right?
The Panthers.
No, but your stock up had him on the Lions.
Did it really?
I was laughing at it. I was reading it like yesterday, this morning. I'm like, stock up on Chuba Hubbard, like Lions. I'm like, when did he go to the Lions? I'm like, oh, Walt's just dumb.
That was just a copy paste error, I swear. I like Hubbard. He's the starter for the Panthers at the moment, and I think he will be for the rest of the year. Like this reminds me a lot of maybe this is why I had the Lions in mind. I was talking about how everyone was drafting Jahmyr Gibbs super early last year, and David Montgomery handled much of the workload in the first half of the year. and I think that's going to be the same thing. And like, it's not like and like Gibbs wasn't even coming off a torn ACL like Jonathan Brooks is, and the coaching staff already said that Brooks is not going to be ready until week 4. Okay. So like, does that sound like someone you want to draft early in the first 9 rounds? I'd rather have Hubbard, who played pretty well last year, and now his offensive line is going to be a lot better. So I'm a pretty big fan of Chuba Hubbard in the mid rounds. So you're theoretically up again. You took Gus Edwards. You quote unquote took Gus Edwards last time, which I would not recommend, because he's been pretty mediocre wherever he's gone. So we'll see what you do. You don't have a quarterback yet on your team, right? Yeah. So
no, I don't think I should take one. I think I should just be contrarian here. You got guys taking 3 quarterbacks. I should take 0.
It's just 0 quarterback.
0 quarterback team.
Yes, zero quarterback strategy. I like it. Appalachian Colt says, my brother and I have been fans of WalterFootball since 2011. Love the draft content. Man, thanks so much for reading for so long. It's awesome. Welcome to the show. Thank you. Sue says, computer just gave me Purdy. Heavy sigh. Yeah, computer is screwing up a little bit. Yeah, no quarterback yet for Body Burner. He takes Jameson Williams again. We're talking about Lions, by the way.
Yes.
So maybe it's listening to us.
Maybe.
And, it's funny. I was I was going to say, Josh, who's the best man at my wedding. I was hanging out with him. This was a couple years ago, but we were trying to figure out how to load something onto his PS4. And this is like 4 years ago. And we're he has a Google Home or something, whatever it's called. And we were like, how do you load the data? We just don't get it. Like, how do you load the data? And we both took our phones and we went into Chrome, and we're like, how do you? And it just filled out the rest. How do you load a data file into PlayStation 4? It's like, It's like it happened to both of us. I was like, wow, that's incredible. It's just like listening to us. It's kind of creepy. Yes. Yeah, very creepy. What are your thoughts on Jameson Williams here?
I don't know.
It feels like every year they're like, oh, he's gonna be great.
I know. I mean, the Lions are a good offense, but I don't think every year it's the same. I know he was hurt last year, if I recall correctly, wasn't he? Did he start the year? Was he hurt last year? I don't. I can't remember. I thought there was some issue with him last year.
It feels like there's always an issue with him. He came into the league with the torn ACL, so
maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Could be, yeah. And there's still good tight ends available, by the way, which I just waited on tight ends. And yeah, you're up again. Yeah. So I find it funny that the AI for you has not taken a quarterback, and yet it went back-to-back quarterbacks here and here.
Yeah, so I picked 2 of those players. I picked Williams, timed out for Garrett Wilson, picked Devonta Smith, and then
there you go. Look, it's stacked for you.
There you go. There you go. Hey, hi.
Yeah, that was the plan all along. I was like, I can get Jared Goff. That's awesome. Relab says this website is proof that AI is the future. Oh man. John says no. Keep drafting Dobbins, helping your competition out. John's always telling me not to draft Dobbins because of the torn Achilles history. I really have to get into that. I have this checklist of things I need to do, one of the things I knocked out today was the preseason picks against the spread, which I did. I have to update my sleepers and busts, which I guess goes hand in hand with Dobbins. I also have to do my draft strategy article. And I wanted to do that by the weekend because, I feel like this weekend coming up is going to be the first weekend in which people are going to be drafting. Ricky Pearsall is another name I was really hoping to get. And that goes hand in hand with the Ayuk trade potentially. All right, so I am up again, and I'm not seeing this name taken. So let's type it in. Brian Thomas Jr., who has insane potential. He reminds me of DK Metcalf coming into the NFL, where I thought that Metcalf was super raw. And I thought that he would be a great player in maybe year 2 or year 3. And he proved me wrong. He was awesome right away. And I'm thinking maybe the same thing is going to happen with Thomas. Like, he's playing with Trevor Lawrence. So could get going early in his career. So I like him quite a bit. I'm drafting a tight end here in round 11 because there's some good ones available, and I got this guy last night as well. Kind of curious about why he's falling to round 11. I know there are some other good receivers in the offense, but Dallas Goedert in round 11 seems insane to me. He's someone like if I was really eager for a tight end, like if there was a huge run and there's only like one guy I had left that I liked, I would take him around 9. I think round 11 is just an amazing value for him. What are your thoughts on that? Why do you think he's going so late? Because I got him in this round last night as well.
He was injured last year, and maybe just like people remembering we're having like a bad taste in their mouth with how the Eagles finished. Is my only guess, but
it could be, yeah.
Germ commented like gambling suspension. Suspension, is that in reference to Williams?
Yeah, Jameson Williams. Yeah,
that's what it was. I knew there was something with him.
Yeah, there you go. Team 4 still has no running backs after 10 rounds.
Actually, 11 rounds. So he's still got another receiver.
Yeah. Pearsall injured with the shoulder today. I did not see that. I'll have to check that out. That's interesting. You just took Mike Williams, so you're taking all the Williamses and all the injured receivers.
Yep, my team, man.
you took potentially suspended guy who sucks, guy who never has proven anything. Jared Goff's good, and then you took a guy coming off torn ACL. So
beautiful.
Yes, don't let the computer draft for you. That's the moral.
Actually, the computer is probably doing just as well as I would have done, so that's fine.
I don't think so. I don't think so. You would have taken better players than Jameson Williams and Mike Williams. All right, so we are at the turn here in round 11. This is like when I pull up my sleepers page. Actually, I would have done that earlier because Brian Thomas is number 2 on my sleepers page. Actually, looks like most of my sleepers are taken. Actually, all but one are available. So maybe I didn't need to do that. So I think I need to expand my sleepers page to like 12 to 15 names, especially in our league because, as you know, we've been in leagues together for 20 years. I think people just draft off my cheat sheet and they take my sleepers. In fact, one guy in our league, he printed out like 1 year, it was like 3 years ago, or no, it was like 5 years ago when we still did real drafts. He printed out my sleepers page and it was just like sitting next to his laptop. I'm like, oh man, I'm not getting any of these guys, am I? And so no, I didn't.
No, that happens to you all the time. I still think back to, was it Ryan Matthews?
Oh my God,
Ryan Matthews in round 2 from our friend who you basically like IM'd him to tell him how excited you were about him.
That's right.
But I've personally done that to you. I can't even speak bad about our other league mates. I've been in situations where, like, if I'm drafting, say, like, I think it was 1 year I was like 9 and you were like 11.
Yeah.
And I was debating between like a running back or a receiver, and I'm like, well, who does Walt like here, and who might get back to me, knowing who Walt wants, and like kind of drafting that way, like just to try to manipulate it a little bit.
Yeah. No, it's smart. I mean, look, if I'm posting my rankings and I'm the supposed expert in this league, like you should know who I'm going to take. It's smart. No, but this guy, I've told the story before a while ago. What'd you say?
I drafted Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, the touchdown regression guy now. I told the story like a while ago. This guy, I was so excited to watch Ryan Matthews in the preseason, and this was late. So the Chargers were playing. It was a late game. It was started like 10 o'clock, but I had other games to watch. I was watching this at like 1:30 or 2 in the morning, and no one was online. This is back when AIM was a thing. I was so excited by Matthews. I had to tell someone. And this guy, Chris, was the only person online, and I am them. I'm like, dude, you can't believe how great Ryan Matthews looks. I'm so shocked. But I'm on the clock here, so I better make my pick. So, and one of my other sleepers gone, so I need to come up with a plan. Let's see here. I think this guy's still available. If not, I'm gonna be in trouble. Jalen Wright, Slew recommended him to me. The Dolphins basically traded their second round pick, third round pick next year to get him. And so I think he's pretty interesting. And I'm going to be up again shortly. So I'll finish the story in a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I think I know what I'm going to take here. I always have to like look to make sure they're on taken. Bunch of tight ends just went. Evan Ingram, Pat Fryermuth. I don't get the double tight ends. I really don't. Ingram's just a great value, but so I think that's like a good exception. But I saw like a lot of people last night, like real people, not computers, like took double the tight ends or much earlier than round 12, and I'm like, I don't like that because the tight ends don't have as much upside. So like if you're putting them in flex, it's like you're just capping your potential for scoring.
Sure, there's a lot of guys too that if you're in real drafts, you'll notice backup at every position. Like those certain guys like that. Every position needs a backup.
Yep.
And that's always fun when you're trying to do the count. Like, okay, I have 3 quarterbacks I like left, and there's 11, 10 teams took the quarterback already. So I should get one of the 3 guys I like, and the guys are taking backups. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's quite annoying. Your brother did that to me one year. He took a quarterback at round 1 and 6, and like I screwed up in my counting.
If I remember correctly, that was the year he took Eli Matt. Well, no, one was like probably he probably like Aaron Rodgers late.
Yeah,
it was back in the day. I think it might be like Rodgers' first year. Like Brett Favre retired, and he took Rodgers.
I think he took Peyton Manning and Ben Roethlisberger. If I remember,
no, it was okay. I remember another year. He also I can't remember who he took early, but he took it was Rodgers' first year starting, and he took Rodgers a lot earlier than we thought he would, and we all laughed because he took like a round 2 quarterback.
Okay.
It was like round 2, whatever quarterback it was, and then round like 5, like not rookie, but first year starting Aaron Rodgers. And everyone had Rodgers as like this, their sleeper quarterback this year, and everyone was laughing. I mean, it was funny because it worked out for him, but
right, yeah, no, it did. No, but he took Manning around 1, and then he took Roethlisberger around 6. I didn't have a quarterback yet, and I was counting quarterbacks on the board, and I saw 11 quarterbacks taken. I'm like, okay, I'm safe, I can wait. And then someone else took a quarterback. I'm like, you took your backup? And he's like, no, I took my starter. I'm like, what? Like, I was like, wait a second. And then I realized that your brother took took 2 quarterbacks. And I was like, that really screwed me up. But no, I going back to the story, this guy, I told this guy, like, I can't believe how great Ryan Matthews is. He's incredible. Now we drafted the next day, and he's on the clock in the 2nd round and before me. Yeah. I don't know if I would have taken Matthews in the 2nd round. I think I was considering it, but definitely 3rd on the way back. So I would have drafted him before he was up again. And he goes, he's like pausing for he's like, oh man. It's like, oh, it's like, and I'm like, oh no, he's not gonna take Ryan Matthews, is he? and then he's like, he actually comes up to him. He's like, is it okay if I take Ryan Matthews? I'm like, yeah, I was like so pissed. I was like, he would have been on your radar if I didn't tell you about him last night.
And that's the worst part of the story, that he felt the need to come up to you.
Yep.
You didn't just do it, right?
Yeah.
You gotta like run it. Like, what if you would have said no?
Yeah, I know.
Like if you said like, oh no, I really want him. You can't take him. I really want him.
I think you would have taken him anyway. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. I was like, do whatever you want. I was like,
why even ask you? It's nonsense.
I know. I've had people come up to me during drafts, and so if for example, if I'm drafting if this is round 3, I'm like 309, and this person's 305, they'll come up to me like, it's like, hey, who should I draft here? I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm not telling you.
I know. It's ridiculous. Like, this is not like life or death. just make a decision. I don't know. It's supposed to be fun. Like you're just letting someone make decisions for you.
No. And not to pick on my brother more. I remember one year he loved tight ends. And I remember one year he took so many tight ends that there wasn't enough roster spots. Like ESPN, I'm only allowed 3 tight ends to be rostered.
That's awesome.
And I remember it was IR. He's John. He's the one that ran the league. And I can't remember. He might have picked a tight end named Alex Smith or something like that.
Okay.
And John called me and he goes, "Your brother picked tight end Alex Smith, but I can't roster a 4th tight end for him. Can I give him quarterback Alex Smith? He doesn't even have a backup quarterback." I'm like, just do what you want. I don't care. My brother was legitimately upset about it. I'm like, you can't. There wasn't a multi. I don't even think. I think we had a flex, but I think it was back in the day when it was just running back, wide receiver.
Yeah.
So you couldn't even play 2 tight ends.
That's crazy.
I mean, this guy's random tight end that you just happen to like his name.
You just wanted Alex at the tight end.
Yes.
Wow. Look, what is this? Kingsley Nagabear. It's a defensive end. It's a side EP.
Is that Bagley? He commented that he was going to take a.
That is great. It just says I'm going to take a Packer and a free agent. No, that looks nice. Love it. Team 4 bringing the meaning to 0 running backs.
Does he have a running back yet? That's all.
No, it's all receivers, 2 quarterbacks, all receivers, and a tight end. So that's important.
And a kicker.
Yes, it took his kicker before his running back. His first running back.
My crappy auto draft team is a lot better than his. Is that being auto picked? His team?
How could it be? Like it would take a running back for sure, wouldn't it? I missed Rashid Shaheed was taken. So my plans are ruined. Who else is available here? Let's see. Well, you know what? I'll take Elliott. Why not? Maybe he does something. Who knows? He went round 7 our last draft, but that was computer. But still, it's weird. The computer took him around 7 yesterday, but it didn't take him in the first 13 rounds today. I don't understand.
You said you used to know. Do you still know the guys around this site?
Yeah, we email sometimes. So all right, Body Burner. This is for you. I know you're a big fan of The Wire. So for my kicker, I'm taking McNulty, the kicker. What do you think?
Very nice. He has a drinking problem.
Well, liquored up kickers have done well in the past. So let's go McNulty. Shout out to The Wire, one of the best shows ever. This is something I would do in I remember Drew's league. We used to be in a league with this guy Drew.
Easiest league to draft.
What'd you say?
The easiest league to draft.
Oh my god, yeah. There's some stories there. Like one year, there's one team we used to take a break. It was like for some reason he wanted a break after round 6.
And so took 5 hours. It was
it was horrible. Yeah. So we would walk around during the break, and we passed by these 2 guys who shared a team together, and they ran it. First of all, they were using a fantasy magazine. This is 2018, and second, they had their cheat sheet that they had was PPR, but we were non PPR, so they're drafting off a PPR cheat sheet.
And it was a touchdown scoring league. So just to give the people listening, it wasn't just like a standard league where they're doing or half PPR and they're doing a PPR ranking. It was a touchdown scoring league.
What is this? It's like the same guy.
How does that even happen?
They have different buys.
A Packer and a free agent.
They have different buys. What is this? Is that Delarin Turner Yell? What are these names here? Why do they have these names? This is great. Wait a second. Deleted. Jude who are these people? This is amazing. All right, this is great, guys. Thank you for the laugh. This is great. All right, no, in that league, we used to have to. We didn't have to draft kickers and defenses, and so I used to exploit this. I used to draft as many sleepers as possible. And of course, Drew's like, "Wait, Walt, why don't you draft a kicker or defense?" And I kind of explained that to him. And then the next year, which I shouldn't have done. The next year's like, we're changing our rules here because Walt's not taking kickers and defenses, so we're changing our rules where.
You also remember he forced you to draft a backup quarterback.
Oh yeah. I only took one quarterback. He's like, well, you have to take a backup quarterback. I'm like, come on, man.
He forced you to pick backup. Now, the league was there was no flex, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs.
Yeah,
touchdown scoring.
Mm-hmm. So
it was like you just basically if you hit 3 out of your first 5 rounds, you were fine.
Yeah. No, it was ridiculous. That was the league in which someone took a kicker in round 6. And it was almost defensible because kickers would score at just as many points as running backs and receivers.
It was 20 yards per point rushing and passing, or rushing and receiving.
And 50 passing yards per point.
And they did 4. Was it 4 for a passing touchdown?
Yeah, 4 and then 6 for rushing and receiving.
And -2. I think it was 4 and -2.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it was just the quarterbacks scored nothing.
Shout out to Bagley.
I appreciate it.
Rest in peace, Gong, who told that story about Gong taking Lance Moore twice. That was one of the most epic fantasy stories
That
ever.
was my doing. If you don't remember that,
It was. Yeah, you're the one who came up with the
I kept
idea.
deleting off his roster.
What'd you say?
I kept deleting his name off his own roster.
Yeah, I told the story. And real quick, Kingdom Name says, enjoy drafting you guys. Walt, I've been viewing your site regularly since 2004. That's awesome,
Wow.
man. Thanks, Kingdom Name. Yeah, I love drafting you guys too. No, I told the story last week where this guy, Gong, he got so drunk at our draft. And like he was trying to take different players who were drafted, and like sometimes this happens, like you try to take a guy, he's taken, it's like whatever.
Yeah, I just I just almost did it. I tried to do it in round 1 because I was trying to get my screen's position and figure things out, and I just didn't see it that he went. So yeah, that definitely happens.
Right, but like there was like one pick where he's like, all right, I'll take this guy. You're like, no, he's taken. I'll take this guy. No, he's taken. I'll take this guy. No, he's taken. I'll take this guy. No, he's taken. It was like five times he tried. So he was so wasted, and so we had a break during the draft because we ran out of liquor. So someone wanted to make a run. I think it was beer or liquor run, whatever. So someone left, and you had this idea. He's like, yo, distract Gong. I'm like, why? He's like, and you're like, I'm going to delete Lance Moore off his roster and see if he drafts him again. And so I was like, oh, Gong, come here. And so I distracted him, and you deleted the name. And so when we drafted again, and it was his turn, he's like, he like points to like the name, and he's like, well,
I was sitting next to him, and he leans over to me. And mind you, he took Lance Moore in like round 4.
Yeah.
And this is like near the end of the draft. It's like round like 13 or 14. And he leans over and he goes, hey, do you think he's good here? Like, you thought he was good in round 4. And that was your question.
Oh, man.
In around like 12. I'm like, all right. Yeah. And I couldn't hold it again. I'm like, yeah, great pick.
And they announced Lance Moore, the whole room laughed. It was so funny. And it's funny because the best part was he didn't get it because at the end he showed me his roster. And I'm like, oh, dude, you have Lance Moore. You forgot Lance Moore. He's like, I have Lance Moore. So great. Oh man, that was the best. That was 11 years ago. Can you believe that?
No, I don't know where the time's gone.
I don't know either. All right, I'm gonna break down my team. So I this is an experiment. I wanted to see what a quarterback was like in round 3. And I think it worked out pretty well. I got Mahomes and I paired him with Marquise Brown. My other receivers are Debo. I think he's going to have a huge year if what I said before. T. Higgins, Brian Thomas. My receiving depth could be better, but I think receiving depth is something that's going to be a concern this year. I wish that one of these picks, Jalen Wright or Ezekiel Elliott, were a receiver, or Caleb Williams. But like all the receiver sleepers I liked were sniped.
I guess why is it just because did you want a backup quarterback, or was it just like your names were taken and your time was ticking, so you just took
time ran out. I didn't want Caleb Williams. I wanted a receiver. I was planning on taking Darnell Mooney, but he was drafted in the 11th round. I missed it completely just because these picks zoom by if they're on auto draft. So I thought he was available. Like that's the one guy. I'm like, oh, I have one sleeper left. I thought it was Mooney, but he was gone. So I kind of panicked and I took someone instead.
I heard the Bears are saying that Williams is like. What was I read today? Like suffering behind a bad offensive line or some nonsense like that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be a rookie, but he has a lot of weapons. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. And I have a legendary Caleb Williams Rainmaker card. Oh, wait, no, I don't, because DraftKings took that away from us. So, yeah, dude, I'm upset about it. It was like my favorite hobby suddenly. And it was it's something I really love doing. It's just they give us a good settlement, Kenny will be on tomorrow night, so I can't wait to hear his rant about it. But I'm pretty upset about it still. Like, I had some good cards, and but well, what are you gonna do? So anyway, with my running backs, Breece Hall, James Conner, Alvin Kamara, I think there's a lot of upside there. I really have to look into Dobbins, but potentially this could have been the receiving pick. Maybe I could have taken. Could have taken here like Josh Palmer, maybe Shaheed, maybe Pearsall. I think Pearsall really needs to move up. I think this is way too late for him. So maybe I should have gone Pearsall here instead. But again, it was when you're talking nonstop and you have to make picks in 45 seconds is pretty difficult. So Goddard, sleeper tight end. I don't know if it's worth talking about your team because you were in, it was auto draft, but you took Kyron Williams. You talked about these picks, Williams and Wilson. Even that was computer, right? So
yeah. So I got kicked out of the whole page for Wilson. I got back on in time for Devonta Smith. So Williams and Devonta Smith are actually my picks.
Okay.
And then no, I took Harris too. Harris sucked. I took Harris. And then I got kicked out. Then I got kicked out again. And Harris too. That was one of those things where I was just looking for a running back, and all the names none of them seemed great. And I'm just kind of like, and Harris, I think at the time was like the third running back or second running back on their list.
Mm-hmm.
Their list seems completely all over the place.
Yeah, yeah. The site used to be a lot better, and it really it hasn't changed, or like it hasn't updated its AI. Like this is bad. Like Stroud and Jackson, no one would ever do that. Even Love, Purdy is just kind of unrealistic. And what Team 4 did was they took double kicker.
And no running
this had I thought this auto draft. This has to be real. Like how do they take second kicker before first running back? That's either the worst AI or there's someone trolling us. I think it has to be the troll. Anyway, let's. One thing I want to note here: one regret I have is I thought one of Dell or Diggs would come back to me in round 6. I suppose that was a mistake. So in hindsight, I think I would have taken Dell here to kind of short my receivers, and then in round 6, maybe Kamara's not there. If he's not there, then I'm fine with I'm so fine with Marquise Brown, and then round 7 I can go Tony Pollard or Zach Moss or Chase Brown or even Jerome Ford, or I think the running back depth is fine because I got Chuba Hubbard in round 9. Like I'm perfectly fine starting Hubbard as a flex or RB3 or something. So I think that's okay. So yeah. Anyway, that's the one regret I have. I think otherwise, I think this team was pretty good. This is the best team I drafted so far. The first team was a disaster last Saturday. The team I had yesterday was okay. I think this one's a lot better. All right, let's go over the teams quickly. We're gonna skip over some of the teams that were an auto draft. Team 1 was an auto draft, so I don't think we need to talk about them very much. They went double tight end at the end. Like they took Hopkins round 8. Like Hopkins is injured, so Chubb. Yeah, I don't think it's worth talking about. Team 1.
A lot of old receivers. A lot of. I don't know how you feel like what your quarterback rankings are. I mean, not to sound the obvious statement would be Mahomes 1, right? So yeah. Jalen Hurts above him, and then I don't know. I like around 7. So, you think this is an auto draft team?
Yeah, they took Ayuk, who is I remember it drafting it very quickly. So Ayuk, he's on the trading block. Like, who's going to take him here? Nick Chubb, that screams computer Brooks, like these injured guys. Double tight end here. Yeah, this is definitely auto draft. So we have couple comments here. Bagley says final tally for team 4: 2 quarterbacks, no running backs, 10 receivers, 1 tight end, 2 kickers.
It's pretty standard. That's pretty standard.
No, it's a 0 running back strategy, right? Yeah. And Mike says, I love the way Walt publishes sleepers, then everyone takes them, and he doesn't get any of his sleepers. Yep, that's it's been the case for.
You're basically forced, if you want to get your sleepers, you're forced to take them like 3 or 4 rounds earlier than you think they should go.
Yep, exactly. That's how it works. I never get any of the players I want in any of my leagues. So that's fine. Whatever. It's a lot of fun still. All right, so let's talk about sloppy stakes. So he took McCaffrey 2nd, which is unusual, but given the injury, maybe it's going to be commonplace going forward. His other running backs, Kenneth Walker, and then Spears, Irving, Pierce. I think Pierce is kind of a wasted pick, but outside of that, or I don't know, double kicker here. Maybe he was all draft at the end, but Evans and Adams at receiver. These are 2 aging guys, so I would be concerned about that. I'm okay with maybe one of them, but this is what I'm talking about here. Like when you get to the 210 to 303 range here, it's like you're drafting guys like you could probably get a round later. I don't, or equal to. Like I just don't like these guys for the most part. And then he goes opposite. Neighbors as a rookie in round 5, which I don't know. There's some risk there. Deontay Johnson's fine in round 8. Odunze is okay. His quarterback's Kyler Murray, who never stays healthy, but he at least paired him with McBride, so that's fine. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of risk with this team with aging receivers, an injured running back, an always injured quarterback, and a tight end who doesn't have much of a track record. So I don't like this team from Sloppy Steaks, but there's a chance this might have been auto draft as well. I don't. At least it wasn't at the beginning. What are your thoughts here on Sloppy Steaks' team?
Yeah, I agree with you a lot there. I have a hard time at any point in round one. Like if I'm the first pick to, if McCaffrey falls to you, not taking him. I mean, especially at this point, we'll see what the injury develops if we hear more in the next couple of days or whatever. But today, if I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and McCaffrey falls, I'm taking him.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with what you're saying. Evans, I think, is fine. He's a little bit older, but as far as like the quarterback situation goes between him and Adams, I'd rather have Mike Evans. But then as you go forward, I agree. Like then you have a rookie wide receiver. And then his other running back, Spears, like he's going to be fighting Pollard for carries.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not crazy about it.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to guess with Spears and Pollard. No, maybe it's just a 50-50 all year, but there's a chance one of them goes down. And if that happens, suddenly that other guy is going to be a stud. So
I don't mind drafting that way when it comes to sleepers, but when he's your third running back and you have Kenneth Walker in Seattle, and I'm not a big fan of the Seattle offense right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a problem.
Yeah, I think round 9's okay. But if this is round 7, maybe I'd have an issue with it. But I don't know. I think both guys could produce. I think there's a chance that happens. I think there's a good chance that they're both on the field at the same time a lot. So number 3, I talked about my team. Number 4, I don't think we have to go over it. We talked about that quite a bit. Number 5, Wang's out for Walt. So he took Saquon Barkley, who I think is a really good pick. I think Barkley could do to the Eagles what Christian McCaffrey did for the 49ers, just like an elite running back in the backfield where this team has not had that since LaShawn McCoy. So like Barkley is just going to be a great upgrade there. And then Aaron Jones, I liked him. I was hoping that he would come back to me. It was, I don't know. I guess it'll have been a tough choice between Jones and James Conner. I think Conner, I think they're both a little risky, but you're going to get that with round 4 running backs. Mm-hmm. And then he went Austin Eckler, Kendry Miller. I've kind of soured a little bit on Kendry Miller because I thought Jamal Williams would not be back, but he is. So I don't know what to make of that. Receivers, though, Puka Nacua, who, assume he's okay, should be great. DJ Moore, solid receiver, too. McLaurin, I was hoping to get him. So that was a good pick. Palmer is a sleeper of mine. Pearsall is going to skyrocket up ADP. So that is a steal in round 10. I don't know how realistic that's going to be going forward, but it's a great pick now. Joe Burrow, and then he took Justin Herbert. I feel like you don't need to take Herbert here because he's injured. So you might end up cutting him anyway. And plus they're going to run a lot more. So that's like the only pick I really don't like here. Kincaid is going to be, he could have a Travis Kelce type year this year because Buffalo has almost nothing at receiver. And then they took Bowers again, which is like, I don't like a second tight end, but if you think that Bowers just has this amazing upside, then yeah, well, I mean, why not? Maybe you can trade him. So I like the team overall. I think it's pretty good. What do you think about this team?
I agree with you with Barkley. I think he could be elite production in the Eagles offense if he stays healthy. Mm-hmm. My only concern with Puka is, again, I'm looking into certain things and I haven't seen. I'm just kind of starting everything this summer when it comes to prepping for the draft or for my drafts. But I was looking at one stat where they said once Cooper Kupp came back, like they were basically producing, like Kupp was out targeting him, and he was kind of the number 2 on that offense. Now I know Kupp's getting older. Do you think that's a concern, or is that just like he was a rookie last year, so it is what it is, and now this year it's another year in the offense?
Well, after week 6, I think Kupp only had 2 100-yard games, and he's also 31. Yeah. So you have to worry about age. You have to worry about drop in production. But if Nacua is actually injured, then suddenly Kupp's going to have a great year. But I'm pretty high on Nacua. I think this is his offense now.
Okay.
Yeah. So, any other thoughts on this team before we move on?
No, I mean I agree. I don't know why you take Herbert there. This one kind of pick I kind of scratch my head at because he's not like some sleeper quarterback or a guy you're taking a flyer on. He's an injured guy we know a lot about.
Yeah.
Not that he's not. He's talented when he's healthy, but
John says, what do you think of the Walt's VP pick? He was a former high school football coach. So do you think a soccer ban is possible? So John's all about banning soccer in the U.S., which is something I can get behind. Even as a libertarian, I think that's a good idea. But then again, I don't see any Democrat banning soccer. It seems like that's they're big fans of soccer. So even though he was a football coach, maybe he secretly was pining to be the high school soccer coach, but he wasn't good enough or something. That's my thing. I don't know. I mean, I think probably it's a tricky situation because I think they wanted Shapiro for the PA vote, but then the far left wouldn't have voted for a Jewish VP. So, I think they were between a rock and a stone, as one running back once said.
I have a lot of opinions on Walls. I can get into that if you want to make this a political segue.
We have other teams to discuss, but how long?
Right.
Go ahead.
My quick answer is I think Walls is they're trying to, make him appear as like some Midwest moderate when he's really like this far left lunatic.
Yeah.
On the transgender issues and the open border and what he did during the BLM riots. I think there's a lot to attack on his record. I don't think he can really even stand on his record, to be honest with you. I don't know what he brings to the Harris campaign. He's coming from a blue state. Like even Reagan couldn't win Minnesota. Like what does he bring to what part of the map does he expand for Harris? Like what battleground state does he really shore up for her? Like what is the point of this pick? Yeah, I know like your point with Shapiro's fair. And on Monday, the Inquirer had some article about him like covering up some like crazy murder conspiracy. I'm not sure if you saw that.
I did, yeah.
But like, why not Kelly from Arizona or even like Whitmer from Michigan? Why this guy?
I think they just wanted she wanted the opposite of her, which is an old white guy. So I guess I think I'm not
an old white guy.
Yes, yeah. I don't know. I'm not a fan.
You call the if that Inquirer thing's true, maybe that's the reason. But call Dearborn, Michigan's bluff.
Yeah,
let them vote for Trump.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really care what Democrats do. So I this is not someone I would have picked, but they've done a lot of stupid things. So. Although like Minnesota, I feel like they've been talking about that being a purple state suddenly, but you're right. I mean, it was Walter Mondale did run from Minnesota. He was from Minnesota, so that may have been why. And I was thinking
funny when I said I understand that it was his home state. He won his home state and lost 49.
Mondale, by the way, was Brandon Walsh's car. That was the name of his car. So always love that. I know you're a little too young for Beverly Hills 90210. We used to have like watch parties for that. That was a great show. Sue says Walt's signed a bill mandating tampon dispensers in Minnesota schoolboys restrooms. Yeah, I heard about that. Nice. Somebody that whacked would ban football and make soccer mandatory. Yeah, I think that's fair. So John, sorry, I don't think he's gonna have the soccer ban that you're hoping for. And Bagley says people are saying it takes Minnesota off the map, but should Harris even want it off the map? Trump might have been arrogant enough to think he'd win it, but now he won't waste any money there. It's fair point, right? I think that's a good point.
Yeah, but if you look, not I'll end the political segue here, but like if you look at the map, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, they're far more competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Democrats are up historically and at this moment in Minnesota. So what is bringing him in? It doesn't open up any part of the map for her. Unless they just think like, oh, he's a Midwest guy, he'll attract Wisconsin voters. Will he though? Like if as a Pennsylvanian, if someone picked like the governor of New Jersey to be the running mate, I don't care.
Yeah, no. I mean, PA is kind of big, so it's like depends because if they pick someone from Ohio, maybe that attracts Pittsburgh voters. But yeah, you're right. I mean, like, yeah, New Jersey's so radically different. Yeah, New Jersey's so radically different than PA. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, it's not that radically different than Philadelphia, though.
Fair. Yeah, that's true. Mike says, yeah, Waltz would ban real football and make soccer the national sport. Curling too. Minnesota's close to Canada. Yeah, you're right. And then he changed the Minnesota state flag to look like Somalia. It's kind of kind of nuts. Yeah.
His wife, I keep saying I'll end it, but his wife apparently in an interview said she kept her windows open during the BLM riots so she can smell the tire fires. Like, what is wrong with you people?
That's very strange. Very strange. Baggett says, yeah, like people said Vance would help Trump in Michigan. Like, how do you know anyone from Michigan? Ask them what they think about Ohio. They don't exactly like each other. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Michigan and Ohio definitely do not like each other. All right. So SLU, team 6. I think SLU was on I think he was on auto draft for a while. Yeah, because he said they gave him Purdy or something. But then I think this is his pick because I know he likes Shaheed. So, that might have been just one computer pick. So his team, he started off with CeeDee Lamb and then Pacheco. I like Pacheco this year. And then Cooper Kupp as the second receiver. So if Nakua's injury is real, then this is a great pick. But if his injury is not real, then I think it's a little mediocre. So I think you're just rolling the dice there. Mark Andrews in round 4, I think it's okay. I would try to get him in round 5. Just kind of see what you kind of get, like maybe do some mock drafts and see if he falls to you around 5. I think like this is a tad too early because there was one draft that we did and Andrews was available in like round 6 or 7. So I think you can get him later than this slow. Jalen Wright in the 5th round is okay. I know Kenny would be a huge fan of this. Brian Robinson Jr. is another Kenny special. Then I think that, again, he went love Purdy, but I think Purdy was computer. Rashid Shaheed, I like as a late round sleeper. Ray Davis as well. He's been impressive in training camp, at least. That's what John Sanders told me, at least. But no, he might get the goal line carries there. Mooney is another sleeper. I talked about him as well. Braylon Allen will debut on my sleepers list when I update it. And then Xavier Legette, just taking a shot here on a rookie. I think good team by SLU. If you ignore the computer pick here, and if that computer pick didn't happen, I assume he takes his 3rd receiver, which could be Deontay Johnson or Josh Palmer. So yeah, if you ignore that, I think this team is looking pretty good. RB2 is a question mark. I think outside of that, I think this team looks fine. What do you think?
No, I agree with you. I like his receivers. I don't like tight ends that early, generally speaking. But Mark Andrews is fine. And you never know. Jalen Warren could work out. Robinson could work out too.
Okay. He says Kupp and Purdy computer picks. Okay.
I actually don't hate Kupp there. I like Kupp. It's just we have to see who kind of is the number 1. I know this is Naku's offense, what you're saying, but you never know. Matt Stafford old and might just be stubborn.
That's true. I remember the first year Cooper Kupp had that great year with Stafford. The first year Stafford got to the Rams, they were talking about how like the story. It was like the first week of the season, and like Kupp just going nuts. And the reporters for NBC, because it was a Sunday night game, they were talking about like, Stafford and Kupp, they had breakfast for 2 hours, and they really bonded. I'm like, who eats breakfast for 2 hours? Like, what are they doing with their lives to have breakfast for 2 hours? All right, so Bagley, team 7, starting off with double running back with Gibbs and Cook, and then he took his 3rd running back here with Zamir White. I think this pick was a little too early with White. I think you can maybe get him in round 7. I don't think people are high on him enough to take him around this range. Chase Brown, I think you can take him a little bit later as well, but not too much later. So I think I like this better than White. I think there's a chance that Chase Brown is the starting running back there, and then Dowdle, McLaughlin are fine late round shots at running back. So receiver 1 is Jalen Waddle. And then Calvin Ridley. I'm not a fan of Calvin Ridley. Jackson Smith and Jigba has some upside. Then Downs and Myers. I would take a 4th receiver here, just because I think that like his 4th receiver is taken around 12, which I think is too late. So what I would do instead, I think this Zamir White pick should have been a receiver. I think it should have been either Dell or Diggs, and I think that would make this look a lot better. And then round 6, you can come back and take White. And here you take a receiver like Christian Watson and then go Chase Brown round 8. I think that's how I would improve. I do like the Tua and Jalen Waddle stack. And then, he had Kelsey, I don't know what to make of Kelsey. Like, I feel like he could either have a great year or he could just fall off, given his age, he's 34. But round 4 is fine for Kelsey because I think his ADP is round 3. So, yeah, I mean, I think this team's solid. I just think I would make those adjustments, though. What do you think about this team?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. His receivers are super thin. I think we keep rooting for Kelsey to fall off. Every year we say he's going to fall off, and
Yeah.
he doesn't. But I mean, eventually it's going to happen. But I feel like the last like 2 drafts we've been saying, well, he's 32 now. Who knows? He's 33 now. Who knows? But he keeps
Yeah.
playing, and he is Mahomes' #1 target.
Well, in fairness, last year during the regular season, he was pretty poor, and then he turned it on during the playoffs. So again, that's why I really don't know what to make of it, because if you just base it on the regular season last year, like I would not touch him in the first 6 rounds. But then he just went nuts in the playoffs. So
Right.
so which one are we getting? I just don't know.
Yeah, I think we're really missing the most important part of Bagley's team.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
This is the glue that holds it together. 2 Kingsley and Bears, 1 on the Packers, 1 free agent. I
Well,
don't
listen,
know.
we got different bye weeks, so he'll always have a Kingsley in his lineup.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
I'm not sure how you score defensive ends, but it's beautiful.
Yeah. No, I think this is outstanding. We talked about, I briefly mentioned Twin Peaks on our last episode. Twin Peaks is known for having like colognes and on the show, and
Yep.
what's his name, Dale, FBI agent, special agent Dale Cooper. There are like 3 of them in season 3, and so so maybe Bagley's a Twin Peaks fan, and he saw this and it's like, okay, this is the good one and this is the evil one, or vice versa. So maybe that's the strategy there. All right, team 8, Dan. I don't like Derrick Henry in round 2. Baltimore lost 3 offensive linemen. Henry's older. He's not the same player he once was. He was sharing carries with Tajay Spears last year. This is not the same guy. Just don't like it. So he went double running back with Taylor and Henry, and then his receivers are Harrison, Dell, Watson, Godwin. I actually like this depth here. I love Dell, Watson, Godwin here, especially with Godwin going to the slot. Harrison Jr. is a risk in round 3, but I've seen him go in round 2, so it's like not too bad. Josh Allen, solid pick here in round 4, considering we had Hurts at 212 and Mahomes at 303. So great value with Josh Allen at 405. And then his tight end, great value with Njoku here. I easily could have taken Njoku if Goddard wasn't there. So I like, except for Henry, I think this team looks really good. And of course, deleted. Like, how can you get past that? So, I if you remove Henry, I'm a fan of this team. What do you think?
Yeah. So if you're at on his 2nd round pick with Henry, are you thinking Pacheco there, or what's your actual like replacement pick? Are you going like Nakua? Like, are you going receiver?
I think I'm going Nakua. I don't like double running back in the first 2 rounds because the receiving depth is so bad this year, whereas running back depth is kind of curiously stronger than it has been, okay. Which is like throwing me off. So no, I would go receiver in round 2. I really don't like. Well, honestly, I think what I would do is I think I would consider Justin Jefferson or AJ Brown or Jamar Chase at 8, and then I would hope to get either Taylor or Kyron Williams or Josh Jacobs at 205 or ATN. I think that would be my goal. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with Taylor. I love Taylor. But yeah, no Henry. I mean, I think either Pacheco or Nakua, but I really wouldn't want double running back. So yeah. All right, so we talked about your team already. Germ, team 10, started with Chase, and then Metcalf is the second receiver, Michael Pittman Jr. I think this is a really good trio of receivers. Keon Coleman, really don't know what to make of him. He could be great or awful. I just don't know. And then Dotson, I think there's some potential there. His running backs, Josh Jacobs, Devon Achane, a lot of potential. Jerome Ford is going to be the starter for the Browns. Algier, who's going to get a lot of touches if Bijan goes down. There's potential. Richardson, sky high potential, just if he can stay healthy. And then George Kittle, another guy who's going to benefit from McCaffrey injured and also Ayuk traded. And then he took Justin Fields like this, and Roschon Johnson I like as a sleeper in round 12. I think this team, I've said potential a lot. Like there's a lot of potential with this team for sure. And I think for the floor is kind of high. I mean, it's Chase, Jacobs. I think Metcalf, like despite Seattle's offense being worse this year, I think Metcalf should have a higher floor. And then Pittman, as like a really high floor. So I think this team has a lot of upside and a good foundation. So what do you think about Jeremy?
Yeah, he has a stack there with Pittman and Richardson.
Yep. That's good.
Yeah.
I
mean, we'll see with the Seattle. It's early yet. I mean, they could all be overblown, right?
Yeah, especially if they sign Connor Williams, who's been on the market, his center from Miami last year.
Right.
He was injured, and now he's making the rounds because he's healthy again. He's considering Seattle and Baltimore, as far as I heard last.
What's the concern with Smith that he's got bumps and bruises? I heard it wasn't anything serious. It was just
he had like an MRI on it because he's been feeling like a lot of aches and pains in a lot of places. So I don't know. It's very strange.
It's football.
Yeah, but it's August, so he hasn't been hit yet.
I know.
So I don't know what to make of that. Mike says Vance was a bonehead choice too from a state Trump already had locked up. Go figure. I thought Vance was okay. He wasn't my first choice, but I do think that I think he was fine. I don't know. I think part of the deal is like to have like life insurance where you want a guy so far out of the establishment that they don't want to assassinate you again. So.
Maybe. I mean, my first choice would have been Youngkin, honestly, if I was the.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because I think at the time before the RNC, it was like things were getting tight in Virginia, and he's popular in Virginia, so maybe he could push you over the edge there.
Yeah.
But I also believe that they could resurrect Abraham Lincoln's body and prop him up next to Trump, and they'd still find a reason to hate him. I don't think it matters as much because people just hate Trump regardless, and that's my favorite thing is they pick Vance, and now all this Vance is a radical. Like he wasn't a radical 3 weeks ago.
I know. He was a never Trumper 8 years ago.
Right. And then he gets picked as the VP, and now he's like a wild person, a threat to our democracy.
Yeah. Our democracy where we install our candidate, someone who's never gotten a vote.
I saw this thing online today, made me literally laugh out loud, and my wife was looking at me funny, where it was the craziest thing about Kamala picking Walz as her VP is that they tried to execute Trump in front of millions of people live on television 3 weeks ago. It's like we forgot about that.
No one saying is anything about it, which is insane.
They got quickly buried.
It got memory hold very quickly. Let's see here. We have some other comments. He sent me 3 times more McLaurin and Leggett. And then he says auto draft sniped me from Flowers too. Okay, so what are you last 2 picks for Bagley? That's great. Okay, Kimmy Goo says it's over 21 in a row. White Sox win 5-1. Congratulations, White Sox! You finally did it. Amazing. 21 losses in a row. It's insane. Bagley says Trump will never pick Youngkin because he's 6'7". He wouldn't want to stand next to him for photos.
Maybe.
Maybe. Sue says, if not Vance, then Coach Tuberville for me. I don't like his insider trading. I just, man, that rubs me the wrong way. I like Byron Donalds, but that's Florida, so you don't really. Or Donalds is Florida, right? Yeah, I don't think you need that. I would have loved Vivek, but that doesn't add to anything to voting. Tulsi would have been interesting for the female vote, I suppose. My wife loves Tulsi Gabbard. And I know a lot of her friends do as well. So I think I'm not a fan of her domestic policies, but her foreign stuff's great. And I think she's like pretty tough. And, I would have loved to have seen her versus Kamala in the VP debate. But this back when Biden was still the president.
When they were pretending his brains weren't made out of jello.
Yeah. That was, oh man, that would have been awesome. And like, if he picked Tulsi, like you should be able to like have like a champion debate for you. It's kind of like, in Westeros, you can have like a champion fight for you. Like Trump should have been like, Tulsi, you're going to go against Kamala again.
But Trump needs to demand a debate by combat.
Yes, debate by combat. That'd be great. Tuberville would ban soccer for sure. That I think could happen. But I don't. He's made a lot of money on this insider trading. I really hate that. Chris says, yet the White Sox still weren't even close to the Pistons losing streak of 28 games. And I foolishly stacked against the White Sox tonight on the late slate. I stacked the Athletics, who scored 1 run, so I am not cashing that, unfortunately. So I can kiss that $15 goodbye on DraftKings. Baggett says, not that I like a guy, but RFK would have been a smart pick. I mean, RFK is running though, so And I don't know.
I'm trying to work something out with him.
Did you hear the story about him and the bear?
No.
Well, he was telling this to Roseanne. Roseanne was looking at him like it's a crazy person. Apparently, RFK was driving. He went like falconing with some people, and he was driving on the road, and someone hit a bear. This woman in front of him hit a bear. And so he thought, he's like, I'm going to skin this bear. And so he put the bear in his trunk. But then he went to a restaurant beforehand, and he still had the bear in the car while he's in the restaurant. And then he realized he had to catch a flight. So he had to drive to the airport. And he's like, I can't go to the airport with this bear in my trunk. And so
okay.
What'd you say?
I thought the story was he's going to get on the plane and leave the bear in the trunk for like a week or whatever.
No, so he went to New York Central Park and put the bear on a bicycle or something and took a photo with the bear with his hand in the bear's mouth. He told the story, and it's real. It's insane. Like it's the craziest thing I've ever heard. And I was like, wow, it sounds like a fun night. It's like a movie that someone could make. It's crazy. All right, Kid No Name. We have 2 teams left. He went double receiver, which was only done once by Team 4, which doesn't count. Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Great start considering how thin receivers are. I think this is a good strategy. So let's see how his running backs panned out. It's Rashad White, Joe Mixon, David Montgomery, Tony Pollard, Devin Singletary. Honestly, I think that's pretty solid. You don't have any studs there, but you have a bunch of solid guys you can plug and play for matchups. And Christian Kirk's a great third receiver too. His quarterbacks are Jaden Daniels, Matthew Stafford. I could see that Stafford was more safe. Jaden Daniels is insane potential, but lower floor given that he's a rookie. Jake Ferguson, outstanding tight end. Curtis Samuel, Jalen Polk. I don't like Jalen Polk. I think you do better sleepers there, but I think it's okay. Like I'm not going to criticize that too much. So Samuel's solid pick in round 11. And then Delaware Turner, yeah, we got a little of that as well. So I think this is my favorite team so far. Kid No Name. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, his receivers are solid, obviously. Good running back depth. I think his last pick saves the draft, though. Championship roster because of that one.
Absolutely. That's going to win it.
I actually think Jefferson, Brown, and Kirk is pretty solid. It's
great.
There.
It's great, yeah.
The only running back I'm not super crazy about, and it's not even a big deal because it's like his third or fourth. Is it his fourth guy? I'm trying to count here. Or no, it's his fifth guy. Is Singletary.
Singletary, yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fan of running backs on bad teams.
Yeah.
But it's round.
I didn't realize it was his fifth guy, so like whatever, that's fine.
It's round 8. It's fine. It's a really good team. Good job, Kid No Name. And then Francisiano Sester. I don't know what that means. Supposed to mean, or maybe it's the name. He went AJ Brown, Travis Etienne. Then his other receivers are Olave, Pickens, Worthy. So I don't like Worthy there. I was talking about that earlier. Brown and Olave is a great start. I think Pickens is good as well, but not as much if Ayuk is traded to Pittsburgh, which could happen. I have concerns about his running backs, though. He took ATN, which is fine, but then his next running backs are Swift, Moss, Benson, Javonte Williams. So Swift always injured. He's going to be hurt by October. Zach Moss may not be the starter. Benson is certainly not the starter now. He could be, and I don't mind Benson in round 9, but when you might have to count on him starting if Swift goes down and Moss is not the starter. That's pretty rough. And then Javonte Williams is, according to Cecil Lammy, one of the best team reporters in the business, he says that Javonte Williams is on the roster bubble. So I don't like that. His quarterback is Trevor Lawrence, who he took super late. It was round 12. I don't mind waiting that long for a quarterback. And honestly, Lawrence is fine down here. But really, if you wanted to take a quarterback, you could have done this 2 rounds earlier and gotten a better one, Jared Goff or someone else. This team has some upside for sure. I just think that I don't like the running backs at all. And Xavier Worthy, I really don't like that pick. What are your thoughts here?
I think you're being disrespectful to DeAndre Swift, Eagle great.
Sorry, my fault. So my fault.
No, I agree with you. I don't like tight ends that early. I know Laporta was great last year, but it's one of those positions I might be blind to because I don't ever take I'll stare at Travis Kelce in the 3rd round and go, yeah, no, and pass on him, or 4th round and pass on him. But In that spot where you're taking Laporta, do you take a running back there? Does that make you feel better?
So I'm on the Laporta pick. He's my tight end one.
Okay.
So yeah, I that's fine. I think you can go quarterback or tight end early, but not both. And he decided to go tight end. But honestly, like I wonder how his team would have looked with Josh Allen there. I think that would be pretty interesting. Rather than, I guess it doesn't matter in the long run. But
I mean, it could. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just looking at the tight ends that went later. Like, do you feel it's better? Like, assuming what if he went like a running back there instead of Laporta, and they got like Kincaid?
Yes,
the pick was.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. So he could have taken Mixon or Achane, or Aaron Jones or James Conner.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a solid second running back, and yeah, he could have gotten Kincaid at 601. Yeah, that's definitely better. So that's definitely something that can be improved upon for sure. All right, so catch up in comments, and we'll head out. Sue says baseball started late March, and Chi Sox still haven't won 30 games. It's been pretty rough. Like says, who goes falconing? Falconing should be banned with soccer and curling. I don't know. I mean, well, it's not like a sport that you see in the Olympics or something. You know, it's a weird thing. I don't know.
What's all the hate your guys have for soccer?
Why wouldn't you hate soccer?
That's
the question. That's what you say.
It's the greatest game.
Yeah, I know you don't mean that. How dare you? How dare you joke about it? Even Chris says, including the playoffs, the Lions won as many games as the Pistons this past season. Wow, that's wild, isn't it? That's crazy. Yeah. They play 82 versus 17. Well, plus the playoffs. He also got a fantastic kicker. Who's Harrison Butker, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to get that apron back. I don't know what happened to it. It's just got deleted. Arthur Smith went falconing for a couple of years. That's true. I believe that. All right, guys. Great draft as usual. Really enjoyed this. Gonna be back tomorrow with another draft with Kenny, presumably Kenny, who wished me a happy birthday today, saying that after all my texts to him, I texted him maybe 4 or 5 times. After Rainmakers was banned, because I really got Kenny into Rainmakers, and he was just as obsessed as I am. Like, I used to like wake up and just go to the marketplace and look for great deals and like try to make offers. That was like the most fun thing. Kenny did the same thing. He would just like lowball people, and like sometimes you get the offers. I texted Kenny 4 or 5 times after the Rainmakers ending, and I was like, Kenny, we got to start our own Rainmakers. And he like kept ignoring me. And then finally he was like, that would be a difficult undertaking. I was like, yeah, I guess so. But Kenny today texted me. He's like, for your birthday, I'm going to look into how to make a Rainmakers that's legal and easy or something. I think he said. So hopefully he has an answer for us tomorrow. So I'm excited for that. Chris says I was planning to get one of the aprons. One of those aprons as a birthday gift. Oh man, I'll have to get it back then. I'll have to redesign it. Football calculator is fired, please. Yeah, we'll try sleeper tomorrow. I'll try to get Kenny on that. Mike says happy birthday, Walt. Thank you so much. Technically not my birthday now. That's the 7th, but thank you. All right, guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store. All that'd be appreciated. Especially thank you to Germ for the 555 super chat. It's again like this means so much because these YouTube ads pay nothing. So you guys are the lifeblood of the show, and just really keep it going. Bodyburner, do you have anything to plug? Not anything of yours, specifically anything you like or anything you want to say before we head out?
I do have something to plug. Check out my website, davesoccer.com, and at me at soccer is great.
Nice. Like, since I knew it might be the last SSC draft, had to go out with a bang. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll try a sleeper tomorrow night. See how it goes. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with Kenny. Looking forward to that as well. I think it might be standard. I always let the guest pick. I know I didn't let you pick, but I know that we draft in a standard league, so I thought you might want to do it. Because BB, please give a 5-minute speech about how great soccer is.
What's better than 22 guys running around a field chasing a ball? They scored for 90 minutes. Scored 2 goals total.
2 goals is if you're lucky. 2 goals.
1-1. It's a great game.
Oh yeah,
it's beautiful.
Did you ever see that Family Guy skit where they have like the American announcers versus the foreign announcers for soccer, and the American they're playing soccer and they have the two announcers like the American soccer. They're like he passes the ball. The American guys go, oh, he passes the ball to one guy. Yeah, he passes it back, and then they go to the foreign guys. They're like, he passes the ball. He passes the ball back. They make it so exciting for like. It's so funny. I've heard that. Clearly, it's just a great skit by Family Guy. Anyway, and you can't use your hands. Yeah, I know. So it's except if you're the goalie, but it's still I don't know. I think you need a sport where you use your hands. But all right, guys, we'll be heading out. Have a great night. We'll be back tomorrow with another fantasy draft and.